India aviation faces infrastructure headwinds. You, as a passenger, what do you look out for? Better deals while booking a flight? Yes. Affordable rates? Definitely. Or flexibility in flight time? Maybe. It can be anything for you. But what if I tell you that things are going to become worse for you? The demand for air travel has been increasing over the years. You may now find it harder to find those attractive deals for the Goa trip you always planned for. Hello, people, you're listening to the Wings of Change podcast, where I'm your host Anubhav Mukherjee. In today's episode, I will be talking to you about how the Indian aviation industry is lagging behind on infrastructure. So stay tuned with me while I take you through it. Airlines in India are spreading their wings wider than ever, with now plans to acquire 1,000 new aircrafts and expanding flight operations across multiple travel routes. It is the same industry that weathered the COVID 19 pandemic, where operations were at a standstill. It is now on the way to surpass pre pandemic level demands of 2019. As travelers, when we think about airlines, we look at them as service providers, but behind the scenes, they are much more than that. An intense competition is under the way to capture market. With the increasing demand, the number of operators in the market is on the rise. But aviation is a cutthroat market where you need to have deep pockets and a mind-blowing operation strategy to survive. The cases of Jet Airways and Go First are the few instances whose stories are as appealing as they are cautionary. Let's take Jet Airways for example, which was one of India's favorite carriers for air travel. The company faced turbulent times and ultimately grounded its fleet due to the company having high debt, as cases of financial mismanagement led the airline to cease operations in 2019. Then there is Go First, a company's run to bankruptcy which was fueled by Pratt & Whitney engine component issues, which impacted its operation along with high operating costs as the airlines industry was hit by the pandemic woes. These cautionary tales remind us of the uncertainty of success and the low profit margins in the Indian aviation industry. We are right now in the year 2024, where the industry is dominated by three major operators: Indigo, Air India, and SpiceJet, with the new entrant Akasa Air. In between the market share battle, Air India is gearing up for the biggest merger in Indian aviation, with Vistara and Air Asia India setting the stage for the new era in Indian aviation. So, as a passenger, what's in it for you? Well, the demand for air travel, whether it's for business or leisure, is rising higher than ever. To meet the surging demand, all the operators are placing record breaking orders with aircraft manufacturers like Boeing and Airbus. This means there will be more instances of overcrowding and delays at the airports. The new aircraft that are coming in are equipped with the top of the line technology along with industry standard comfort to give the passengers what they pay for. The only concern that remains is the infrastructure part. This adds to the troubles for the airline operators as they are now handling more chaotic situations. The new airport projects in Noida and Navi Mumbai are the two big upcoming projects of India estimated to be fulfilled in 2024 and 2025, which are long awaited as the current airports are almost operating at full capacity. In India, people are switching to air travel to save time. The demand soaring new highs every month, and the infrastructure is finding it hard to sustain the growth. This is one of the reasons for your flight delays and harassment situations at the airport, which makes most people think that maybe it would be good to have another airport in a metropolitan city. Along with this, the number of pilots is also a major concern for the operators, as getting experienced people on board as pilots is difficult. It takes a long time for a first officer to become a captain. Research agencies like CAPA estimate that India needs twice the number of experienced pilots than it has now, along with more airports in the metropolitan cities by the year 2030. The government of India is focusing more on connecting the tier 2 cities. But the data from the Comptroller and Auditor General of India report shows that 52% of the routes that were awarded are still not under operation. The scheme needs improvement in terms of implementation to fully leverage the forecasted benefits, according to the audit report. The audit committee made a total of 16 recommendations to help the Ministry of Civil Aviation in better implementation of the scheme in future. Awarding more routes to connect the tier 1 cities like Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, etc. will be even more difficult now, as they will have to adhere to the basic safety regulations. Even though skies are the limit and the Indian aviators are reaching for the stars, it will cause an operational issue when all the new aircrafts are delivered to India, and the already crowded airports will have more on their plate to deal with. Even though the plans are set out for the rapid development of aviation infrastructure, it may take up a few years before we actually see any demographics after the new airports are launched. Till then, the indicators are moving towards a near future of airport congestion in the majority of the tier 1 cities. That's all for today's episode. This is Anubhav Mukherjee and you are listening to the Wings of Change podcast. Thank you for tuning in.